a line of Norman soldiers suddenly turns and flees. The English shield wall breaks rank to chase them. It is exactly the mistake William hoped for. Within minutes, isolated men are surrounded and slaughtered. An entire kingdom hangs on this single trick. This is the Battle of Hastings. In January 1066, King Edward the Confessor died childless. Harold Godwinson, a powerful English earl, claimed the throne immediately. He was crowned quickly, before rival claimants could react. Across the Channel, Duke William of Normandy disagreed completely. He claimed Edward had promised him the crown. Instead, he also claimed Harold had personally sworn to support him. William began assembling ships, soldiers, and papal support for invasion. He spent months gathering an army from across Normandy. Before William even landed, Harold faced another threat entirely. A Norwegian king invaded northern England around the same time. He brought hundreds of ships and thousands of warriors. Harold marched his army north and crushed that invasion quickly. The victory at Stamford Bridge cost him dearly, though. Days later, exhausted messengers brought devastating news southward. William had landed on England's southern coast already. Harold turned his tired army around immediately. His soldiers marched over 200 miles within days. There was no time to rest or fully recover. Many soldiers simply could not keep pace at all. Harold positioned his exhausted army on Senlac Hill. This ridge offered strong, naturally defensible high ground. His men formed the classic English shield wall formation. Housecarls, elite warriors, anchored the center of the line. They carried heavy axes capable of devastating single blows. Furred militiamen, less experienced, held the weaker flanking positions. Their equipment and training varied considerably across the line. William's army below numbered similarly perhaps 10,000 men. Unlike Harold, he commanded a genuinely mixed force. Archers, infantry, and cavalry each played distinct roles. Bretons held one flank, Flemish troops the other. Normans themselves formed the center of his advancing line. This variety gave William options Harold's army simply lacked. The shield wall, by contrast, was built for pure defense. It excelled at holding ground, not maneuvering flexibly. The battle opened with Norman archers firing uphill. Shooting upward reduced their accuracy and overall effectiveness. Shields easily absorbed most arrows aimed directly forward. Next, Norman infantry advanced up the steep, difficult slope. Housecarls met them with axes and heavy thrown weapons. The shield wall held firm against this initial assault. Exhausted attackers were cut down trying to climb upward. William then sent his cavalry charging into the wall. Even armored horses struggled against a disciplined, unbroken line. Horses reared and refused, unwilling to charge solid shields. The wall held again, and Norman momentum began stalling badly. Then, something unexpected happened on William's left flank. His Breton soldiers suddenly broke and ran downhill. The retreat was real panic, not planned strategy yet. Rumors spread that William himself had been killed. Seeing apparent Norman collapse, some English fyrd broke formation. They charged downhill, eager to finish off fleeing enemies. This was a fatal, uncontrolled break in discipline. William quickly realized what had accidentally just happened. His fleeing troops had drawn Englishmen away from safety. He reportedly rode forward, lifting his helmet to prove he lived. Norman cavalry immediately wheeled around to counterattack. The pursuing Englishmen, now isolated on open ground, were surrounded. Without their shield wall's protection, they were quickly cut down. William watched this unfold and recognized its tactical value instantly. He decided to repeat this by deliberate design now. Norman units were ordered to fake retreat again. Officers rehearsed the timing carefully among trusted soldiers. Twice more that afternoon, soldiers pretended sudden panic. Some Englishmen, despite earlier lessons, still broke ranks pursuing them. Discipline among the fyrd simply could not resist temptation. Norman cavalry wheeled back each time, punishing every pursuit. Slowly, the English shield wall began thinning at the edges. Housecarls in the center mostly held their discipline firm. But the flanks kept bleeding soldiers with every feigned retreat. William combined this trick with relentless, continuous pressure elsewhere. Archers now fired high, arcing arrows over raised shields. These arrows fell behind the wall, striking exposed rear ranks. Cavalry and infantry alternated fresh assaults without real pause. Both of Harold's brothers were reportedly killed during this stretch. Harold's exhausted. Thinning line had no reinforcements left available. Every feigned retreat cost him soldiers he could not replace. By late afternoon, gaps finally opened across the weakened line. Norman cavalry surged directly into these widening breaches. Harold himself was killed sometime during this final assault. Ancient sources disagree on exactly how he died. Some describe an arrow striking him in the eye. Others describe him being cut down by charging knights. His body was reportedly mutilated beyond easy recognition afterward. Either way, his death shattered remaining English resistance completely. Leaderless, the shield wall finally broke apart entirely. Surviving Englishmen fled into the surrounding darkening woodland. Norman soldiers pursued and cut down stragglers relentlessly. By nightfall, William's victory was total and undeniable. He then marched slowly toward London, securing surrender along the way. 2 months later, he was crowned King of England. Centuries of Anglo-Saxon rule ended in a single day. A new Norman ruling class replaced the old English nobility. Hastings endures as warfare's classic lesson in discipline versus temptation. Harold's shield wall was nearly unbreakable through direct assault alone. What broke it was never brute force or superior weapons. It was the temptation to chase an apparent victory. William understood that discipline fails when men sense weakness. He manufactured that illusion of weakness deliberately, again and again. Military strategists still study this tactic centuries later today. In the end, one tactic decided England's entire future.